Cowboys 5 more straight losses because I tell you what, it's going to hurt them. They win this division, they drop down out of the top 10 to the 20s as far as drafting. Yeah, the once great offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys is great no more. Getting older, Lionel Collins hasn't been the answer. Travis Frederick going for that offensive line to do that. They need some draft equity. Lose 5 L's, Green.
Okay, I see what you're doing there. How about you, Ninkovich? Who you got a gift for?
I'm giving Tom Brady a new head coach because Bruce Arians at this point right now, he's not cutting it. Listen, all his interviews, he is throwing players under the bus. You know, he's asking him about AB. Well, AB was open on that play. Asking him about Tom Brady being confused by coverages. I don't think Tom Brady gets confused by coverages. I mean, just honestly, to throw him under the bus like that, to come out in the media and say the things that he said. Yeah, Tom Brady has been picking the plays, his own plays. And even to say that recently one of his centers just had a career-ending injury. I've never heard a head coach say somebody had a career-ending injury a week after they got hurt. It just, like, who does that? So it's the first time Tom Brady's ever had a head coach throw him under the bus like this.
I like it. And again, all of the bus throwing in New England, and you know this better than anybody, would take place behind closed doors. And now here's Bruce Arians. And look, we can talk about the things Arians says. Let's talk about the things that Arians calls. The Bucs have lost 2 of 3. In those losses, Tom Brady has thrown 5 picks. Let's hear from the offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich, who was asked about the suggestion that Brady is playing in someone else's offense. Here's what Leftwich said.
You guys know how I am. I tell you this all the time. The quarterback is the offense. I say that all the time. Remember, I understand that it's still a version of entertainment. So something has to be said. And when plays don't work and when things don't work, that's what comes with losing in this league.
Okay, so we need to dive into this a little bit deeply. We've talked about it a lot this week. And look, I mean, Byron Leftwich is doing the right thing. He's doing exactly what his head coach doesn't do. He's trying to say something that will diffuse what is obviously a problematic situation. But Mark Sanchez, you play the quarterback position and you went head-to-head against Brady a million times. As you watch him right now, is the quarterback the offense in Tampa? Are they running an offense that is best suited to him?
I don't know if I could say that with certainty. I'd have to say no. And here's the issue. I understand Coach Arians is airing people out. Sometimes that motivates players. Sometimes that gets his team juiced up. Okay, that's fine. That's one way to approach it. I'd prefer, hey, you want to rip me behind closed doors, and then you take the bullets at the podium. That's just kind of, my school of thought. But listen, the most important thing he said is, okay, Brady's getting confused by coverages. Whether I agree or not, I happen to disagree. But if that's the case, you've identified a problem. Now let's try and solve it. I don't want problem identifiers. I want problem solvers. So what are you going to do? Are you going to use, I think Orlovsky nailed it this week. He talked about they need to use more exotic formations. Use Gronkowski, split them out so you can see man and zone. Use shifts and motions. When you shift in motion, you're not doing it for somebody's health. You're doing it to get information from the defense. So why don't you try using it instead of staying in these static formations and claiming your quarterback can't read the coverage? I would just try and mix it up a little bit, solve a problem for Tom Brady, make it easier. You're the coach. You got to make him comfortable. He's your starting quarterback. Help him out as much as you can. I don't care if he's played for 20 years and he's the best of all time. Help him out.
I think that's extremely well said. And let's dive into this here. The reality is they don't do that because Bruce Arians has always believed that every play he calls is a touchdown. And if it doesn't work that way, it's because the players screwed it up. But the reality is it's never worked that way. So at some point, let's go back to you, Ninkovich. You were just saying you think Brady needs a new coach. At the end of the day, if this thing doesn't get better the rest of this season, do you think they can keep those two together?
No, you can't do that. When you start to bring somebody in the public's eye and say, look, this is the reason why we're losing. He's missing these throws. The receivers are wide open. The coverages, he must be confused. The plays coming in, they're great plays. He just has to run them. That's what people say when they're full on themselves, high on their horse, on the things that they're calling. Their egos are in the way of reality. And at this point right now, you have a lot of great pieces in place. Use those pieces to try and make the best of the situation. They still have a lot more to go here in the season. They can still be one of the best teams in the NFC, but they need to correct. They need to create a better offense using Brady's skill set. And he was never a deep passer. Tom Brady was never a deep down the field thrower. Short, intermediate passes. Let him break down the defense and call the right play against what the defense shows you. That's what you pay a great quarterback to do. Check into the right plays. Go in a hurry up. Go up and hurry up and create plays. That's what Tom Brady does.
Sorry, Nico, I didn't mean to jump on you there. Bart Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, Byron Leftwich, we are in the entertainment business. And you know what can be entertaining? The truth. And that's what Bruce Arians thinks he's saying, but it's not the truth. I came on this show yesterday and I told you about how he almost got Ben Roethlisberger killed. And Ben Roethlisberger is a quarterback that can move in the pocket, sacked 215 times in the first 5 years under Bruce Arians. That's why Pittsburgh ran him out of town. Understand that they're trying, it's like trying to make Russell Westbrook a three-point shooter, top 5 three-point shooter. It just ain't going to happen. And people don't change when they're 20 years old. What happens is Bruce Arians is a man of a certain age, and I know by being around my grandparents that when they get a certain age, that they don't care. They're going to do what they want to do. And that's what Bruce Arians is doing. But what he's understanding, he's letting his team down with his play calling. Tom Brady is a dominant player. This is the most talented roster in the NFL. They have to do a better job in utilizing what he does great, putting 2 tight ends on the field at the same time, which allows Tom Brady to have options up the seams and on the outside, allowing his offense to run through the running game so that they can take time off the clock, rest that defense, so that they can go out and they can win the Super Bowl. This is a team that has the most talent. They should be a Super Bowl contender, but they have an identity crisis about who and what they are, and Tom Brady has to walk into that office, close the door, and have one of those conversations that Peyton Manning had when he was with Kubiak and said, this is how we're going to do it. And listen, to Ninkovich's point, he thinks that Bruce Arians won't lose this one because Bruce Arians has more time left as a coach than Tom Brady has as a player.
And very quickly, Mark, I just want to come back to you to get back to the X and O piece of this, because I saw it in your notes that they would have 2 plays when Brady came to the line of scrimmage in New England, and he's coming there with 1 now. Explain what that means.
So essentially, you go up to the line of scrimmage, you have 2 calls in your holster there, and Brady goes up and he goes through a dummy cadence, uses motion, uses some sort of shift to gain information from the defense. Boom. Now they've given me the information. I know which play I want to go to. Potentially, I can audible to a different play. That's his game. That's what he does. Right now, they're going up to the line of scrimmage and they're chucking balls downfield, and Ninkovich nailed it. That's not Brady's game. He's like a 1-for-4 completions guy, balls over 20 yards. And that's just fine. Being 25% on balls over 20 yards is great. You're going to be one of the top throwers in the NFL. It's okay. But what he does is he picks you apart underneath and intermediate because he has that information. They're just not doing it.
That's exactly right. That is, I think that we have identified the issue here. We'll see. And oh, by the way, they get Kansas City this weekend. So let's see if they turn things around. We've got college basketball coming your way on ESPN today. The championship game of the Bad Boy Mowers Crossover Classic. Number 15, West Virginia scoring.